Hey, how's it going, everyone? Welcome back. Episode 3. We're going to be looking at level design today. So a very exciting workshop installed. Very much looking forward to seeing all of the games that you guys come up with today. I've had a lot of fun this week playing some of the amazing submissions that we got sent from our challenge last week. So later on in the stream, we're going to be playing our winners game, so that's something to definitely look forward to. But before we get diving into coding and creating our games and looking at people that submitted games last week, let's start off by introducing everyone else that's here. So we have Ian, again, our digital wizard behind the camera, well, behind the other side of the camera, who's going to be doing all of our buttons, making sure that I look good. So he's got a really hard job on his hand to be able to do all that. But yeah, Ian, why don't you? We've got a couple of polls and things like that today, haven't we?
We have, yeah. So what we wanted to do is ask you guys some questions, get some feedback. And the first one is we want to know what you want Sean to do today. Not just in general, but as part of the workshop. So we're going to be looking at level design. Is that right, Sean?
That's what we're doing today, yeah.
Excellent. So you can be generous or you can be kind of mean, but we're going to ask a question. This is for people who are watching on Facebook. We're going to ask you, what character would you like to see on Sean's level today? So I've opened that up. And fingers crossed, you should be able to see that on your screen pretty soon. So let us know. And then in a few minutes' time, we'll come back and we'll read out some of the best suggestions. And then, depending on how generous or mean we're feeling, we'll let Sean choose maybe which one he wants to do. Does that sound all right, Sean?
Yeah, I'm hoping there's lots of suggestions of just having a square as a character, or maybe a rectangle or something like that. So fantastic. Something that we just wanted to touch on before is, and we got a great question in last week. We tried our best to answer it. With someone saying, what is the best setup for doing along these videos? Because people might be struggling to watch what we're doing and also do their game at the same time. And as always, we always say you can pause it. So you don't have to, if you're taking a little bit longer, don't worry about pausing it and then coming back to it once you've completed that section. But we did have this brilliant submission of someone that was using YouTube to watch it, where they put it onto the TV. So they've, instead of having to have two devices, so a phone or an iPad or a tablet or something like that, and a computer or a computer with two screens or anything like that, they use the TV to watch us on. And then used, I think it's a laptop. It looks like a laptop to do the game in there. So anyone that's thinking, no, I don't have two devices. If you've got a smart TV, that could be a really nice way of doing it. A lot of smart TVs now just have YouTube built into them as one of the apps that's available. So yeah, get us on your big TV, make me a TV star, and then do your coding along on your computer or device at home. That'd be great.
Just a shout out that photo was sent in by Paul Hayden. So big shout out to Paul and whoever it was that was behind the laptop they're following in on the workshop. But just as a quick note as well, if you've got any photos like that, either of you doing the workshop right now or making the game a little bit later on, then send them to us. We absolutely love to see all of that stuff. Just you guys enjoying what it is that we're doing. So either on Facebook, in an email, on Instagram, on Twitter, wherever it is you're watching us, take a quick snap and send them over to us. And who knows, we might make this a bit of a feature where we put some of those photos into the live stream next week.
Yeah. Brilliant. Yeah, Paul, he was part of from Darsby Side Tech as well. Big up to them. The big part of our Make Fest that we ran last year in Halton. We've got some exciting news coming about that soon, but not on this stream. Probably on a different one, but we'll let you know more about that soon. And as always, we've also got Nikki with us as well. Hello, Nikki. You okay?
Hello, Sean. I'm fine, thank you.
Fantastic.
Really looking forward to this one.
Brilliant.
I've had fun with it this week, and I'm going to enjoy it again today.
Brilliant. Nikki, I believe that we've got a bit of an update from Halton Libraries about something exciting that's going to be going on in Halton, but also around the UK as well.
Absolutely, yeah. Every year, the libraries across the country run the Summer Reading Challenge, which involves getting kids to come into libraries to have loads and loads of fun. But of course, this year, with a lot of most libraries being closed, we can't do it that way. So the Reading Agency are putting it all online, and that launches this Friday. So if you check with, if you're in Halton, if you check with our social media at Halton Libraries, but wherever you are, if you check with your local libraries, I'm sure they will all be sharing the details on their social media. And there's going to be loads of activities, and there's going to be really wonderful authors doing talking about their books and about their work, and lots of fun. Because the theme this year is Silly Squad, so it's all about having giggles.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, we're big supporters of that. We normally each year we'd be going around to lots of different libraries, running different workshops and being part of the Summer Reading Challenge. This year is slightly different, but we might be. We're in talks and potentially doing some live streams as part of it as well. So lots of cool things to look out for and to be involved in. So as we just mentioned that right at the beginning, we're going to be looking at doing level design today. And I'm actually going to be focusing on making a maze. So that's going to be the kind of the main focus of the session today, making a maze level. But I think what we should do now is we'll go back to our poll or our questions and see if Ian's got some responses around what people have suggested I do as my character.
I have some fantastic suggestions coming through. Some ones where people are thinking like about computer games. So we've got some suggestions of Mario, Luigi, Sonic, Yoshi, and then we've got some a little bit more outside of the box ones. So I've got a merman.
Merman.
Interesting. A dodecahedron.
Oh, that's a slightly more advanced square, isn't it?
Yeah, fancy square. Ninjas, monsters, and we've got a nice suggestion of a unicorn, and a shark, and a cow.
A cow. Oh.
So I'll go on, Sean. Have those suggestions. What would you fancy doing?
I'm trying to stuck between a unicorn and a ninja. I think I'll go with ninja. Whoever said that, well done. I like that. There was some great ones in there. Really good though. I like the idea of the computer game characters, but I've got a feeling I wouldn't do them justice. But just as a side note, something that you can do along with this is we actually got an amazing game submitted this week by somebody who had recreated Mario versus Bowser. And if you look for kind of retro game art online, so if you do a little bit of a search for like an 8-bit Mario or a low-res retro Sonic, sometimes you can actually find them as pixel art and copy them across into your game. So that's a really fun activity to do outside of the game as well. So I won't jump into that one today. So this time I think I'll take where I can have a little bit of artist. So yeah, I reckon we get stuck in and do it. So the first thing, as always, that we're going to need to do is make sure that you've got your device that you're going to be coding on, and head over to the Arcade MakeCode website, which is arcade.makecode.com. And we're going to start on a new project. So just to make sure everyone's got that, it's www.arcade.makecode.com. And that will let you come up to our section where we are able to make new games. And this is our website. Oh, I forgot to say, Ian, we said we were going to do some shout outs today. Sorry if this is completely throwing you under the bus, but do we have any people shouting out where they're from and what they're going to be doing and stuff?
So we opened it up at the beginning, just say hi, let us know where you're from, and there's people from everywhere. So there'll be far too many to go through. But I think there's a special mention that we forgot to mention last week, which is of people joining in from our other projects. So anybody who's new to Mako, we don't just do these live streams. Actually, it's a relatively new thing we started doing. Normally we go out and about, we do workshops in schools, libraries, youth centres and that kind of thing. So we've got some of those projects that are going on, obviously they're not going out and about anymore, they're being delivered remotely. But we just wanted to give a shout out to anybody who's joining us from the Buddy Up project that Paul is running. You can see in the comments some people asking if Paul's here. He is here. He's not in this room with me and Sean, but he is kind of in the comments and stuff. So nice to see people giving a shout out to him there. And also our short breaks participants. So Halton short breaks. If any of you guys are here watching that from any of those other projects, then good to have you with us. And yeah, we'll see you in those workshops when they carry on in a little bit. Over to you, Sean.
Okay, so now we're back in here. What we're going to do is start a new project. So we're just going to click on this big orange new project, and as always, we're going to need to give it a name. So I'm going to be making a maze today, so I'm going to call it maze. As always, you can, if you've got a good idea for your maze already and you know what it's going to be called, you could call it something specific around that maze. So if it was, say, underwater or in a forest or a mirror. I always remember being in Blackpool, Pleasure Beach when I was younger and running straight into one of those mirrors at one of those mirror mazes. So it made it slightly easier for everyone else because they had my smudged face on one of them, so they knew that wasn't a doorway. But yeah, there's whatever maze you're going to try and make, you can put that in there. But do remember, we can always rename these at another time. So once you've got your name in there, we just hit create and we open up a new game. Fantastic. Oh, I will say as well, today's stream, I'm hoping it's going to, I know I went on a little bit last time, so I'm hoping that it's going to be a little bit shorter this week, so we're not going to go on for a full hour and a half like we did last time. So hopefully a lot more time for you guys to play and develop your games and keep them coming in. So first thing we've got to do is design a sprite. So designing our characters a little bit like we've done in all the other ones. We've always had a character we're controlling. So to do that, what we do is go into sprites. Actually, as well, Ian, while I'm thinking about it, now would be a good time to get that poll out to see what everyone else is thinking about doing for their levels, wouldn't it? So yeah, let's see that. As I'm going to start designing mine, I know that I've got a ninja in mind. What type of maze are you going to be making for yours?
That has been open.
Oh, has it? Fantastic.
Yeah, so we ran something on. Sorry guys, I know I'm having a few comments about people saying I'm echoing. Fingers crossed next week we're going to have different, slightly different setup, so that should help with that. So apologies for that one. But yeah, on Facebook we put out a poll in the event to ask you guys what kind of level you can do. So we've put, and there was a big answer for other. So we'd love to know what that other was. But we've put out 4 suggestions that is space, underwater, urban and jungle. I'll reopen that now for you so you'll be able to tell us. At the moment, the most popular answer is jungle. But I've got a sneaking suspicion that there's people thinking of other options outside of those 4. That's what Facebook told us in the build-up to this. So in the comments, let us know if that doesn't quite fill what it is that you're trying to do, space, underwater, urban, or jungle. Let us know what your crazy ideas are in the comments. But so far, Sean, jungle is taken away with 50%.
Maybe I think I might go with that. Then I'll go with the majority. I'll feed mine in the jungle as well. Then, Nikki, how about you? Have you got any ideas for yours where you might put your maze?
Well, mine is going to be in a library.
Oh, nice.
I'm going to have a little character who I'm going to call Bucky. And he's a little book running through the library.
Mine was my favorite names when I was young because my name's Sean O'Hare, and of course there was Captain Bucky O'Hare. Was one of my favorite cartoons when I was younger, and that was a cool person to be able to associate with, I think, as a human person. So yeah, Captain Bucky O'Hare. So yeah, spirit animal, my bunny. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we jump back to my screen. As we're saying, we're going to make our sprites. So we just click in our sprite section. If you're new, this will be the first time you've done this, but we jump into sprites. If you've been in the other weeks, you'll know this now, I'm sure. And we grab the set my sprite, which is the very first one under create, and we just drag that in to our on start. And I'm going to rename my sprite. Ninja. That looks right. Hopefully it is. Apologies, dyslexia. get in the way. But I'm going to call mine Ninja because that was the kind of the one that I'd accepted at the beginning. And my sprite type is player, so I'm going to leave that right because he's going to be my player. I should say, I'm saying he could be a she ninja. So now I'm going to design it. So to design it, we click on, I did that a little bit quick there, let me just go back. To design it, we click on this gray box right here, and this brings up our editor. So we've, as we already know, I'm sure we've got lots of tools down over here that can help us do different types of designing. My favorite one's just this pencil up here. And ninjas, in my eyes, normally wear black. So that's the one that I'm going to start off with. I'm going to choose black, and I'm going to kind of, I might have my ninja doing like a flying kick. I might be setting myself up for trouble here doing this. But maybe like something like this. And then you normally have a bit of a face. I'm going to try maybe making a bit of a bigger head. Oh dear. Don't know if this was the best idea. I hope your drawings are going better than mine as we're doing it. As I was saying before at the beginning, if you want to spend more time on designing your character, that's cool. You can pause the video here and carry on doing yours. I'm going to put a bit of a bandana on, I think. There's one bandana. We have some kind of tassels coming down. That looks quite cool. Then we have some kind of slot for the eyes. Oh, I don't know. It's starting to come a little bit more ninja-like. What do you reckon, Ian? You happy with what you reckon? Any suggestions? Should I give him a belt? What belt do you reckon a ninja is? Do ninjas have belts?
I am out of my depth here. That looks pretty good to me. You get him there.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I'm quite happy. Looks more like a gun. That's meant to be an arm. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I've done his leg too high up, so I'm going to jump in and click on the erase button. I'm going to bring this leg down a little bit further so I've got a bit more space for got a little bit more space for. So that's something that you can do quite a lot with character designs. I think when you first start doing it, you always want it, you feel like you want to make it so it's exactly the same size as a person, so the head and everything's the same size as you might expect it to be. But something you can do quite well with pixel art is just kind of free, would be a little bit freer with it. Make them, things don't have to be exactly the right size. Things don't have to be to proportion. So there we go. I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to get rid of that. It looks like a gun. Make his leg a little bit shorter. No, it looks more like an F now. There you go. Maybe like that. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. Obviously, it'd be great for you guys to spend a little bit more time. I'm going to make his head look a little bit rounder there. A little bit more time on yours. I've got mine facing to the left because I think I'm going to start on the right-hand side of the screen and move across to the left. And once you are happy with your drawing, you can click on the Done button. And it will load up. And actually, if you can see on mine, if I make it bigger, it's kind of camouflage at the moment because I've got a big black background because I've not got anything in. So all we can see is the is that red. So I suppose that might be quite good for a ninja, though. You might want to
proper ninja skills.
Yeah. That bandana though was a mistake. Maybe you want a black bandana rather than a red one. Okay. What I want to be able to do now is move my ninja around. So again, we've used this code a couple of times, but to do that, we'll go into the controller section. And the very top one says move my sprite with buttons. So I drag this one underneath. And what I need to remember to do is to make sure I change it. You can see that we've got the error coming up here. Zoom in a little bit. We've got the error coming up here. And that's because my sprite doesn't exist because I've renamed it from my sprite to Ninja. So I need to make sure that these two match up. The name here and the name here. And now I can make this kind of hover and move around and things. Okay, cool. So brilliant. I've got my got my ninja in there. Let's see, has there been any comments with people amazed at how good my ninja was? Or I don't want to know if there've been bad comments, but if there've been anyone, has there been anyone saying nice about my design working out? I'll hear them comments.
Should we just move on then?
Oh yeah, maybe that might be the most sensible thing to do.
So, some people asking questions about uploading characters again as you sprite. That kind of thing. I think we covered that in previous weeks, but just as a reminder, Sean?
Just as a reminder, unfortunately not. The way that the code works in this is that it's not kind of dragging an image from anywhere. This coding works, and again, and anyone that's a little bit more advanced in their code, and if you're a little bit older and you've done coding for a long time, as well as working in block, we can also work in JavaScript. And so I'm just going to switch my code over to JavaScript where I don't have too much going on. So it'll be a little bit easier to read. And we can see that if I click on this little plus button here, which is next to the 1, this actually brings up our picture. So when we see it, we look at it as if it's a picture, as if it's something that we could just find on the internet and drag in there. But what we can actually see in this section here is it's actually all code. So we've got like a bit of the outline of my ninja here. And all these Fs represent black. The 2 represents the red color, the bandana that's around his head. And the D was the kind of like more pinky paley, skin fleshy kind of toned color that I've used for his eyesight, which I've just put just in underneath. So unfortunately, you're not able to, because what this allows it to do is work a lot quicker, because instead of having to look at pictures and drag them in and things like that, it can actually just do them all via code. So unfortunately, no, you're unable to drag them. You have to kind of make your own and design your own ones from scratch as you're doing it. If you were clever,
feedback here, Sean.
Yeah.
One, apparently, ninjas wore blue belts.
Blue belts.
Apparently.
All right, I'm gonna.
Don't know about
Could
that.
I? You know what I could do if I was a super pro? I could edit that in the JavaScript here,
Right. Okay.
but I'm not a super pro, so. I'll tell you what I'll do though. I'm going to try it. Let's see if I can put like some. Let's see if I can put some like. I know that 2 is red, so I'll tell you what I'll do. I don't know what color blue is, but if I replace this JavaScript here with S with 2, I should get a red belt. So, I've never done this before, so I don't know. I don't know if this is just going to make me look like a right fool. So let's refresh that. See if I've got a red belt. I do. Look at that. My little guy has a little red belt. So if you wanted to, you could actually make your character like that, a little bit painstakingly. But I'll tell you what I'll do. If I click on this icon here, I've drawn half his arm as red. So there you go. It is a bit harder, but I will put that back in there. And if I choose blue, so if I hover I don't know if you can see on my screen, but if I've held my mouse over blue, I can actually see that it's come up saying color 8. And so now I know that the number for that is 8. If I click done there, go back into this section where I've got these Fs here and go 8. Oops. 8. And then refresh my game. Hopefully now I've got a blue belt. There you go. So if you have designed a character in another game that you've made, so if you've made another game inside the MakeCode realm and you want to drag in, so not just an image that you found on the internet somewhere, but you want to use a character from another game that you've developed, you could copy and paste this JavaScript into another game. So I could go, oh, do you know what? I really like this ninja. I'm going to copy this and then literally go into my next game and paste that in. So that's a little hack for you, for anyone that's going back into that. But we're going to jump back into blocks now and have a look at making our games. So far in the first week, what we did was we set the background to be a color so that we could see the color that was being used. In the second game last week, when we were doing the fighter kind of space, well, I did a space one, some people did underwater and all sorts of cool ones. We used a background. We drew the background in there, so it got a little bit more detail on there and used some special effects. What we're going to do something completely different this time. So we're going to use a tile map. And a tile map allows us to design an actual level or something that our characters can interact with and move around inside. So it's not in the background, It's before that. It's what the character's actually walking on it and interacting with. So to do that, we need to go into scene, which is the one just underneath music. And this time, it's where we've got, this is where we went and we put the background as color and put the background image. But if we start going down a little bit further down, we can see there's a tile section here. So I'm going to drag in this set tile map to, and I'm going to drag this underneath. So just to repeat that, it's in scene, scrolling down to tile map, and then dragging that in and popping it in the on start. So we want it third one down. And what I'm going to do now is, as I'm sure you probably can guess, to edit the tile map to see what we want it to look like, we click on this gray box. So it's the same as when we've been making projectiles and sprites, things like that. We click on this gray box and it opens it up. Now this is quite similar to some of the other editors and some of the other things that we've been looking at, but it's a little bit different. We can see that the menu on the left-hand side is a bit different to what it was when it was the last time. So in the top left, this section here is a preview of what our tile map will look like. Then you'll notice we've got the same editing tools that we had last time, but just in a slightly different order, but they're all the same. And then we've got these options here, which we're going to come into in a little bit. And we've got some pre-built tiles in here. So automatically it's set to forest. So anyone that was thinking about doing a jungle one, you might use that one. We've got an aquatic one, which has got some more aquatic style tiles in there. And we have a dungeon based one, some cool dungeon themed ones. And we have a miscellaneous, which has, it looks like a football stadium almost there, and brick walls and rocks and kind of like lots of different things that might fall into not quite one of those other ones. So as well as, I might make this a little bit bigger so I can make my box a little bit bigger so we can see those arrows at the bottom. There we go. So if I'm going to go back to forest, because I said I think I was going to do a jungle one. So if I go to forest, I've got some pre-built tiles in here, and I'm going to zoom in so I can see, zoom out, sorry, so I can see my whole map. Thank you. And I think I'm going to make a maze. Let's have a quick look at the options that I've got here. So I've got some that are kind of like bushes and things like that. I think I'm going to make mine a little bit like when you see, actually, no, I'm going to change my mind. Instead of doing jungle, I'm going to make it a little bit like where you see them sometimes at posh manor houses and things like that, where they've got a maze made out of bushes and stuff like that that goes around. That's they're quite famous mazes, aren't they? So to do that, I'm going to click on one of these tiles. I'm going to use this bush here that's already been designed for me. And it goes into this section here. And I'm going to use another type to go in the middle of it. And I'm going to use, for my other one that I'm going to use one of these kind of like gravelly looking ones that is in the middle. So to do that, if I click on this button here, this little enter button, you can see it switches position of these, and I can have two selected at the same time and just easily switch between them. So I'm going to choose gravel as well, but I'm going to switch back to the bush that I'm drawing with the bush. So now instead of drawing with a color, what we're actually putting in here is pre-designed tiles. So rather than just saying this is going to be blue or green or red or something like that, we've got these tiles, and each of these tiles represent a 16 by 16-bit square. So the same size as my ninja was there. Each of these tiles represent the same size as him. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a border all the way around the outside of mine. I should say as well that if you wanted to draw your maze out beforehand with pen and paper, that could be a really smart idea. You could do that by getting a piece of paper, a piece of line paper, and if you could make it so there's 16 blocks by 16 blocks, you could design your own maze in paper and then use that as a map to draw out. I'm going to just freehand this one, and I think I'm going to make mine so that I have to start in this bottom right hand corner over here and finish in this top left hand corner over here. And to begin mine, I think I'm just going to start putting in some almost random lines, and I'm going to see if I can make it make them make sense in a bit. There's much better ways of going about drawing a maze, I'm sure, than the way that I'm going about it. I might have some dead ends. So let's put one then there, so there's a dead end. And then put this here. Yes, I'm going to put one there because people might think that's the way to go about it. And then draw this up to here. So I'm going a little bit random. I suppose you could actually have hidden messages in the maze by the way that you draw it around.
Sean, do you want me to go through some suggestions while you're...
Yeah, any questions, any suggestions why I'm drawing? It's quite therapeutic, this. I'm quite enjoying this one. Just yeah.
I'll put Sean's design up while we're going there. So over on YouTube, we've got some people suggesting that they're doing a ladybird stuck in a forest. That's a nice one.
That's very nice.
A log in a lumberyard. Does that mean that the log is trying to get out? Is it like escaping? I'm not quite sure. That's cool. The ninja compliments have been flying out of the woodwork now. Everybody thinks, I don't know whether it's like a mass trolling or everybody actually thinks that your lumberjack is okay.
My lumberjack, he's not a lumberjack.
Sorry, ninja.
that would be a trolling if everyone's going, that's a brilliant lumberjack, that's Sean.
Big debate about the colour of belts for your lumberjack, for your ninja. So yeah, that's kind of cool. Shout out to people watching us from Wales. That's pretty cool. Got some people from Wrexham. Got some people in Manchester as well. Somebody is doing a kitten bot.
Oh, kitten bot is really cool. Whoever's got a kitten bot, that has been on my my list of things that I want to have a play around with for a long time. They're kind of like another way that you can play your game. A bit like our awesome Geektronic one, which we love it, but KittenBot are a pretty similar device, except they're a bit thinner. Do the same thing though, kind of, except they look a little bit more. They've got the bottom of a microbit connector, so you can connect them to some of the things that you can connect a microbit to. Oh yeah, make sure if you send us some pictures of that, I'd be proper interested to see it, see how it looks and stuff like that. So looking forward to seeing those ones. So I've pretty much there with mine now in terms of my maze, but what I want to do is, as I've said in a couple, and we can see now in the top left-hand corner, this suddenly makes a lot more sense, our kind of overall map. We can as well, what I want to do is just fill in the ground on these. So as well as having the bushes going around it, I'm going to click on this gravel, and I'm going to have the gravel. I've got my array still selected. If you're ever clicking on something going, why isn't it letting me draw? It might be because like you were like me, then you had arrays when you need a pencil in there. So yeah, I'm just going to quickly go and draw this in as well. Obviously, please feel free to pause this and take as long as you want. You might be going, actually, Sean, I've finished mine and you are just taking ages on yours, but I'm quite happy with it actually. So as I said, I'm finding this quite therapeutic, like colouring in. Nice colouring in book, taking my time about it, getting it nice and ready, and going through it. Yeah. So how's yours going, Nikki? Actually, yeah, let's catch up with Nikki. Have you having much success with your library themed one?
I'm not sure if it's coming across, but I've got Nikki frozen again in the chat, so maybe we can come back to Nikki.
Yeah, Nikki, I could hear her okay, so people might be able to hear her, but they might not be able to. So Nikki, if you just do what we did last time and just if you just leave and join back in again, we'll come back to you. Hopefully we'll be less frozen in a second. No problem. You might have all been able to hear them because I could hear her okay, so but we don't know. So it's not worth me just talking to myself and you guys not being able to hear it. Okay, so I've got the rough layout for my amazing place there. And what I want to do now is add in a custom start place and end place. So you might have looked through these pre-designed ones and gone, do you know what? None of them are there that I wanted. I wanted it to be going through bricks or a skyscraper or mirrors or something along those lines. And there's nothing in there. I've clicked all these arrows. I've looked on miscellaneous. Nikki might have been thinking, I really want it to be a bookshelf that they're going between. and we've not got any in there. So what you can do is, instead of having gallery selected here, if I click onto my tiles, we can actually make our own tiles from this section. So to make our own tiles, what we do is, in this section here, we just give this plus button a little press. So again, just to reiterate that, we need to select onto my tiles, click on the plus button, and then we are back there. Okay, actually, I think we might have Nikki back. Is that, have we got her on your screen there, Ian? Yeah. Yay, everyone. So how's your library getting on, Nikki?
Yeah, I've used the brick background, but with you saying about sort of creating something of my own, I'm gonna have a go at adding a few little bookshelves.
Nice. I would say the only problem you're going to have, Nikki, with your bookshelves, which will be cool if you can get it done, but I think because my bush, it kind of looks the same from every angle that you're looking at it, you might have to have a bookshelf. So like one of them's facing inwards, one of them's facing outwards, and then two that are on the side. So you can almost join them together, if that makes sense. I'm sure it'll make sense when you put them together and you try to do it. But yeah, you might have to like do 4
I don't think
types.
it's going to be that clever.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a custom start point for my Ninja. So I'm trying to think of what I could have as a start point. Let me throw. Well, I'll tell you what. We'll talk to Ian and Nikki about this. Anyone got any ideas what I could draw as a start point for my maze? Maybe
to let the gamer know where it is that they're starting from.
Just to kind of like, it's like I'm going to get it so that my Ninja starts on this block, and I want to have a custom one for where he starts. Okay. So I guess it could be like a door, maybe, or like a teleporting pad, or a line that he has to cross, or I could just write start, I guess.
Yeah.
That
sounds pretty good. Or like a red flag and then the green flag's the end, maybe? Or...
Yeah, I like that. Red flag. I can draw a red flag, I reckon. That is a winner. All right. So before anyone comes up with anything harder, let's draw a red flag for the beginning and a green flag for the end. So I'm going to draw my... No, that's too far in the middle. Come on, Sean. What are we doing? So this is my pole. I've decided I'm going to use white for my pole. That's great. I'm all right with that. I'm going to rub this out here. I'm going to draw a green flag. Oh, no. Green flag's at the end, isn't it? Red flag to the beginning. Can you make a flag look like it's waving in pixel art? Kind of. Let's see if that works. I want it to look like it's blowing in the wind. So I'm going to use my fill tool to fill this middle bit. And what I want to make sure I have as well is is so that it looks a bit like the rest of my path. And I think the rest of my path is this color here, or the majority of it is. So I'm going to fill in the outside of this as well, so that it kind of sticks on there. All right, cool. So I'm going to click done there. So I'm quite happy with my flag. And what I'm going to do is click on it. This puts it in my picker here. So I guess if I was going to compare this to another game that I'm sure a lot of people play, this is a bit like in Minecraft, where you have to select the block that you're going to use. So we've got 2 different block sections that we can put it in. So I've got this now selected in here. I'm going to put it, I've changed it to there we go. And I'm going to put it here at my start point. Lovely. And then I'm going to do a green flag as well. Now, again, I've not done this, but I'm guessing this might be a copy button here. Let's see if that copies my red flag. Oh, look at that. Genius. Saves me so much time. So this button here is a copy, and then this one bins it. But what I've done is I've copied my red flag, and what I'm going to do now is go inside it and edit it. So let me, so I click on it, and then click on this one here with the pen. There you go. And then all I need to do now actually is just use my color fill again, change it to green. And I've got my green flag. Then I click done. And so now I've got a red flag and a green flag. I've got my green flag selected up here. So I'm going to replace this endpoint with my green flag. Cool. So I'm quite happy with my maze now. So I've got a maze. I've got my bushes that are going to be my walls. I've got my start point, and I've got my end point in there. And I triple check that there's a way to complete your maze, because that could be a bit annoying. In fact, I've got 2 ways that I can complete my maze, so that's too easy. So I'm going to make it a bit harder, and I'm going to make it so that you have to go. Which way do you reckon? There. This. I'm going to make it so you have to go up this way to be able to do it. Okay, cool. So now, once you're happy with your design, what you need to do now is to click on the Done button. And we'll see that it loads up. And so now we've got a bit of our character there. And we've got our character starting in the middle of it. So what we need to do actually is tell our maze, or tell our game, where we want our character to start in our maze. So to do that, what we need to do is to drag in another piece of code. So this is again inside scene. And what we do is go down a little bit in the options. And it's this one that we're looking for here, which is place my sprite on top of random. And then it's got a space for us to put something in there. So just to reiterate that, it's inside scene, and then we scroll down from the very top, and we go inside the tiles section, and then we are looking for this one here, which is place my sprite on top of random. Not place my sprite on this one, place my sprite on top of random. And if I drag this in and pop it under here, what this will do now is, oh, that's a good point. I've renamed my sprite to Ninja, so I've got my error message because my sprite doesn't exist. So first thing we need to do, rechange this back to Ninja, or whatever it is that yours is. So you might not be drawing a Ninja, so it might not be a Ninja. So Ninja, 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 whatever yours is, just make sure all them 3 match up. And then if we click on this drop-down menu now, we've got all the different tiles that we use on our maze. This one, I think, was one I selected but didn't actually use. So I'm not going to use that one. I'm going to use this one, which was my, oh no, I'm not. That's my endpoint, my green flag, isn't it? So I need to go onto this tile, which is tile number 1, the red flag. That's my start point. So if I pop that in there now, oh, my character's disappeared. Is he on the red flag? Who knows? Well, I do. He is. But we don't know because we can't see it, because we kind of, what it's done is it's automatically looking at the top left-hand corner of my game. It automatically will always go to the top left-hand corner. And what we've done in our games before is every single game that we've made up to now has only taken place inside the 160 by 120-bit screen that we've got on our devices and we've got on our preview. But what we've done today is we've made a game that's actually much bigger than that. So we need to make sure that we know where the camera wants to go, because normally in all our other games, the camera doesn't need to move. The camera just stays in one place and everything happens inside that. But because we've made such a bigger game for our level, we need to make sure that our camera follows our character around. Otherwise, we won't be able to see what's going on. So to do that, what we do is go back into scene and we go into the camera setting, which is a little bit further down. Have I gone past it? No, I've not. It's right at the bottom, the camera setting. So we're going to go for this one, which says camera follow my sprite. And so I'm going to drag this in and again pop this underneath. And as usual, it's come up with this error going, my sprite doesn't exist. So click on that drop down and change that to Ninja. Hey, and now we've got our sprite in the bottom left-hand corner. So what I'm going to do now is give myself a little bit of a challenge. I'm going to put a 10-second timer on it and see if I can complete my maze in 10 seconds. Can I get from the green flag to the from the red flag to the green flag in 10 seconds? So I'll go into info, pop in a timer countdown on 10 seconds. And I'll have a play of my game here. So it's counting down, and look, I can just run through my game and get to my green flag well before that end of that 10 seconds. So I'm going to stop that before I get a big But we have it so that although we've designed our title map so that we've got these cool bushes in, or you guys I'm sure other stuff in, we need to actually tell the game that, not like the backgrounds that we've used in them before. We need to make sure that we tell it that actually you can't go through these bushes. That's the whole point of these being in the game, that these are my walls that I'm not letting the character get through. So to do that, we go back to our tile map. So where it says set tile map to, if we click on this little icon here, the little icon of our map, it'll open up our editor. And what we actually have to use is this kind of picture of a wall here on the left-hand side. And it says draw wall. And I'm just going to go and draw around every bit that I'm classing as a wall. So all these bushes, I need to go over them with this red. And you can see that it makes them a little bit darker. Ian, I'm going to be doing this now, kind of drawing this bit. So if there's any questions or anything that people want me to go over, now might be a good time to start having a look at or think of those while I'm doing this little bit of going over my wall.
Okay, let me just put that up so you can see Sean going through that at the same time. Somebody's literally just asked, how do they make the grass where they can't go on it? So I'm guessing that's what you've just shown, which is pretty cool. Some suggestions for your start and end point. Chinese tiles or writing or something.
Oh, that would have been
keeping in with the theme.
That would have been better, wouldn't it? Yeah.
We've had some questions. Now, this is getting a little bit technical for me to understand. Maybe it'll make a bit more sense to you, Sean.
Okay.
But, somebody's saying that they only get the first page of tiles to choose from, where you were clicking the left and the right arrow to go through them. And then somebody else has suggested that if you try and zoom out on your browser, so depending on what browser you're using.
Let me show you on mine real quickly.
Okay.
On my that might be a person that's potentially on an iPad or something along those lines. But if I make my browser a little bit smaller, I noticed it on mine that it started to hide the arrows. So if I make mine like a little bit smaller like that, then I can't actually see the arrows for me to go through them. It's only when I've got my screen at full resolution, covering all of my my kind of screen, that I'm able to see those arrows. So it might just be that you need to make your window a little bit bigger to be able to see the arrows, to be able to do it. Otherwise, it could just be an issue with the browser. But as you say, it might be getting a little bit techy there and kind of like trying to figure out what might be the issue with it. We use Google Chrome, which works really well with it. But I think we kind of got a lot of people in the first week saying that most browsers seem to be fine with it. I think a few people had issues with Internet Explorer, but that seemed to be the only one that had any issues there. Yeah. Any other questions, Ian?
The technical one I'm going to get onto in a second. I just noticed while you were doing that, some where you're filling in kind of where your character can and can't go. Obviously, that could be kind of cool. Some games have like secret passages and back doors, so you can paint it as a book, which looks like you can't go through, but what can you do?
You could have secret passages. There's actually as well, there's some cool stuff in here where you could actually, if you're really into your coding, you could have it so it's a wall, but maybe you get a key so that you can suddenly go through that wall. So you could have it as almost like a locked door, and you've got to collect a key to be able to go through it. I'm not going to be doing that today because that's quite a bit of coding to be getting on with to be able to do that. But I think I might do that in this week's expansion pack plug session coming up on Wednesday. So if you're really into it and you wanted to learn some extra stuff, we're going to be telling you about that in a little bit. But there's loads of cool things that we could do with kind of like having fake walls and all sorts of things like that. Just to make sure as well, everyone knows, I've done two-tone here, so I've done bush and floor, but you could have loads of different types of tiles used with inside your maze. And also something that I forgot to mention earlier on, I've done mine 16 by 16 tiles, but if I wanted to make this maze even bigger, if I wanted to make it twice as big, down here in the left-hand corner, a little bit like we sometimes use the amount of pixels, we can actually change this to 32 by 32. And suddenly we've made our game twice as big, or 4 times as big, is it? Gosh, my math is, yeah, 4 times as big. Doubling the number of tiles on each one, but making it 4 times as big. So you can make your maze as big as you want to. If you want to make it absolutely enormous, I'm going to keep mine as 16 by 16. I think that's sensible for this session. So change that to 16 by 16. So yeah, you can make it bigger. So now,
oh, sorry, Sean.
Yes.
Just wanted to pull somebody. Ty, who was the winner of last week's competition, just asked a question. Said the walls, the backgrounds of the walls I've used are not transparent. So I think it means like the tiny bits around the edges. He's used the rocks instead. So the backgrounds are white and grey blocks. Is there a way to fix this? And there's been a little bit of peer helping, which we'd love to see.
yes.
Sean, do you have an answer for that, or do you want me to read what people have suggested?
Can I just want to make sure I've got the question right. So the blocks that he's using, that around the outside of it aren't transparent. Is that what he's saying?
Yeah. So like, I think what he's saying is on your one you've got where the bushes, you can kind of see the top left, top right, bottom left, bottom corners of them. So they're not transparent.
Yeah. And he wants it to be transparent. Is that, or he wants to fill them in?
I'm guessing so. So there's been a reply from Jessica, so you'd have to edit the individual tile to fill the square, or leave it and it will be black, as the grey and white ones are invisible. Does that make sense to you?
What you could do is, if you wanted it to be a certain color, is quite a little hack could be if you change the background. So we've not got a background on ours at the moment, but if you put in a background that would go behind the tile map. So if you wanted that to be a certain color or something like that, if you put a background on, then that is what you would see, that color behind it, because it's kind of in levels, in layers, I should say, not levels. That'd be confusing, wouldn't it, if I just keep calling everything levels? It's in layers, so the background would go behind it. The other alternative is draw them from, use these ones that are in there as good ones to kind of get started with, but then once you've actually happy with your level, go back in and have a go at making them yourselves and drawing them and putting them all in there. I think that would be a nice way of being able to get it exactly how you want to do it. So I'm quite happy now with my walls. I've got them there, and so what I'm going to do now is have a quick look and say, oh, I'm really zoomed in. And just have a quick play of mine, and now so you make sure that I'm not able to go through the wall. So let's refresh this. Yeah, I'm pressing up, I'm pressing down, and I can't go. Oh, there we go. I can only go through the bits that I've not. I'm going to stop that again to stop that really bad, that really loud coming through. In fact, I'm going to turn the audio off mine because I know that it'll deafen half our audience if that comes on. So I'm going to make it smaller again. But although if I get to my green flag at the moment, I've got nothing in my code that tells me that I've actually won the game, that I'm able to do it. So what I'm going to do is add in the one more block. So I'm going to go into scene. And it's a little bit like what we were doing with the sprites earlier on. So when we have two sprites overlapping each other, we can use the sprite key to be able to make things happen. We can also do that with certain tiles, but instead of going into the sprite section to do that, it's inside the scene section. So we can have on sprite kind player overlaps this section here at location. So that's inside scene underneath tiles. And I'm going to drag this one in. So I'm going to pop this here. And what I'm going to do now is change this so that it's my green flag. So I've got to the end, so I know I'm at the end. So if I click on this drop down, I'll see my green flag is here. And that is great. And what I need to do now is make sure that's all right. So sprite player, so my player, this is a player, so that would work. And this flag out location, yep, that will all work. So what I want to have now is a way for me to win my game. So if I click on game, And I think I've not actually done this on one of the live streams before, because so far we've always had kind of game overs in our game. So like, you've run out of time, or you've been killed, so that's game over. But we can actually use game over as a way to win. So instead of it just being a thing where you lose, you've actually completed the game and you win the game. So inside the game section, which is the third one down, the purple one, we have this game over, and you can see that actually it's automatically set to lose, but we can switch that to being win. So I'm going to drag this game over lose into here, and I'm going to change that from lose. It's like a little switch. If I click on it, it changes it to win. And I can also change this section here so that I get a different effect when it comes on. So let's see, confetti, clouds, starfields, bubbles, smiles, hearts. I think I'm going to go with smiles, confetti, hearts, all nice ways of winning. And so if I get to the end now, hopefully I'll get a nice game over win. So what I'm going to do is see if I can do it. I've only given myself 10 seconds, so I'm not sure if it's possible. So let's hit my play button, refresh it, and go. Oh no! I can't remember which way I went.
No pressure, Sean. No pressure.
Game over. Nightmare. Right. That's it. I'm gonna refresh. I'm gonna have another go at it. I reckon I could do it. Oh no, my play is too big.
Can you feel the pressure of all the viewers watching you? Everyone's booing you at home, I reckon.
They're not. It's like the scene in Rocky where they're all chanting. I'm on the ropes at the moment. I'm just building up to the big finish.
In the comments,
I went the wrong way.
Do this. Is it possible? Has he got the skills? No.
I'm sorry, guys. This is now going to turn into a 3-hour stream of me just pressing this refresh button on here. Yes! I've done it. So actually, though, that leads me on to quite a nice thing. Somebody once told me, and I think this is true. They said that I'm just going to keep that on there so everyone can keep seeing that I won with 1 minute 39 as well. 1 second 39, not 1 minute 39. I'm going to give myself a big hand being able to do it. They said to me that the biggest skill that a game designer can have is empathy. And what that means is that you need to think about the person that's playing your game. So rather than just making a game for yourself, think about the other people that might play your game and go, is it so hard that the person's just going to give up and get bored of it? Or is it so easy that they're just going to have done it really quickly and not be bothered going back to it? And it's constantly trying to get that level of engagement, right, where you've got a game which is challenging. So I was playing that, then I was getting quite close to the finish. I was like, do you know what? I'm going to keep going at this because I think I can do it. Or if it was dead easy, I might have gone, oh, I'm bored with that now because I've done it dead easy. So it's getting that balance right with inside your game. So some things that you could do there, if your game is longer than mine or harder, you could obviously increase your time limit on it so that we have a longer amount of time to complete the game. But something else that you could do is, and we've gone through all this stuff in previous sessions, so I'm pretty sure that you guys all have the skills to be able to do it, is you could maybe have little other sprites in there that are potentially little clocks or little stopwatches, and as you get them, it adds time to the timer. So you're able to kind of give your person a bonus if they get to certain locations. You could even add enemies in there. So if you go the wrong way, you start getting damaged by enemies that are in there. There's loads of cool things that we can add to our code. But that's where I'm going to leave mine this week. I'm looking forward to seeing what you all come up with, what you put inside yours. How have you got on with yours, Nikki? If you managed to complete yours and get it all working the way you wanted, or are you still working on it? Oh, fantastic. Oh, that's really good. That's really nice. We could, we'll tell you what we'll do. We'll try and get, if you try and send me a copy of that one, we'll see if we can get it up to give it a play in a second. But while we're waiting for that one to come through, I think we'll have a look at our winners from this week and seeing who has won the game, our coveted Kitronic arcade device. So again, just a massive shout out to Kitronic. Thank you very much for supplying us with these, letting us have them as part of our project. They also do loads of other cool stuff with micro bits and stuff like that. So go and check them out. They are awesome. And they also were at Halton Make Fest this year as well. So lots of cool people being involved in this project so far. What I want to do is show you the winner from this one. So I've got the winner this time is Thomas Green. So well done, Thomas Green. The game that you created was absolutely brilliant. It was called Go Go Galaxy. Go Go Galaxy. I really enjoyed playing it. It had some cool animation on some of the characters and some nice things. So I'm going to get it up here on my screen and have a quick play of it. So while I'm waiting for this to load up, we'll have I'll have a quick play on it once that loads up. But just while that's all loading up, it's something it might take a little bit longer because there it is, because it is quite a big game. I just want to say a special mention to Jacob Myeskoff. Sorry if I butchered your name there. Jacob Myeskoff, Dean Hansen, and Jessica Richardson, because you all did amazing games. It was so difficult to choose a winner this week. We had, I mentioned this one at the beginning, I think it was Dean's was an amazing Mario versus Bowser. He had the fire beam thrown at him and stuff like that. It was absolutely brilliant. Jacob's one was a underwater submarine one, which was so cool. It had torpedoes being fired out of it. He put in these special heat-seeking missiles when you press button B. So as well as having your standard missiles, you had like ones that would find the enemy and get to them. That was really cool. And Jessica did a very on topic or very on interesting times one of coronavirus, where the enemy was the coronavirus and you had to vaccinate people. And if the coronavirus touched people, they got infected. And it was just such a clever game. They were all really good. And it was so hard picking a winner. But I've gone with Go Go Galaxy. But just to let everyone know that submitted the game, again, we had lots and lots of them submitted. So thank you very much for everyone that submitted them. I'm going to give this game a go. So as we can see here, your task is to defeat as many wonkies as you can. Blasting Dart Stars gives you 10 points. Good luck. So we've got different types of bad guys in there. I like that he's used a custom background here for this section as well. We've gone out of space a little bit like mine was. So let's hit that A button and that. So it's just loading up here. One of the cool things about this was we've got the animated rainbow tail light coming out of the spaceship. So that's something really cool. We've not looked at animating yet, but everyone that knows MakoCreate knows that we love animation. So I think that we might try and get that animating inside one of our upcoming sessions on the games. I don't know, I'm down to one life. But there is so many cool things in here, using random things to make different things appear and stuff. And I think I might make myself die on purpose so we can see what happens. But get game over there and hit. I know that I had a quick look through the code, and they put a special one in the special message came up. If you die without getting any points, it says were you even trying and things like that. So just a massive well done for you. And I'll show you a quick look at the code in here as well. So just to kind of show you the scale of this game. So he'd done it quite neatly. So he'd kind of he put all notes inside there, so we had different sections, so we knew what was controlling what. What we'll do is we'll publish this game so everyone can have a play of it and also have a look at the code themselves, because one of my favorite things to do is when you guys do something cool in your coding, I like to steal it and claim it's my idea. So please keep sending in these really cool things so that I can keep learning from you guys as well. Some amazing stuff. So we'll send you an email, Thomas, and we will get you your arcade device thrown out there, but loads and loads and loads. They must have taken hours and hours. This just really well done. And thank you to everyone that submitted yours. Don't worry, we've still got 3 more weeks of these, so you've still got lots more chances to win. Have we got 3 more weeks? Or was it? No, 2 more. So we've got 2 more weeks, so you still got chances to win one of these arcade devices. So please keep submitting them. Don't be disheartened if you've not won yet. There's still lots of chances for you to be able to do so. I think what we're going to do is it's slightly different, the competition this time. I think it was so hard for me to choose a winner this week that what we're going to do is choose 4 finalists, and we're going to put them on our Facebook channel and put links to the games, and we're going to let you guys vote on who you think the winner is. So we're going to put it into the public's hand this time, so I can feel less guilty about having to choose one when there's so many good ones, and let you guys decide who you think the winner of next week's one should be. So we said that the deadline for submitting your games is on Sunday, so we'll probably put that on Monday, because we'll have to have a quick look through them ourselves first. So at some point on Monday, we'll put that online. No doubt you'll get a notification, but if you check our page on Monday, probably not the morning, give us a bit of time to look through them and things like that, then we'll be able to do it. I'm conscious as well that a few of our viewers may have gone back to school today. So hello to everyone that's not watching us live but has tuned in and has had to go back to school. I hope that's all going okay, and you've enjoyed seeing your friends and things like that. If you're still at home doing it, fantastic. Thank you very much for joining in. But yeah, no, I think we're pretty much good to go there. Ian, have I missed anything out, or is there anyone I've not thanked, or is there anything like that that we need to do?
I think we've had some people asking how do they submit. So if you want to show people that.
That's a great, I definitely had forgot to do that. So thank you very much. This is why Ian's here. So what we can do, the way to submit your game is if we go to our website, which is www.MakoCreate.co.uk. So I'll just go back to our homepage. So when you go onto our website at the beginning, it looks a little bit like, let that load. It looks a little bit like it will do in a second when it's finally finished loaded. There we go. So again, that URL is www.MakoCreate.co.uk. Once you get onto there, we're going to go to projects, because this is one of our cool projects that we are running. And then once we've got on here, there's lots of cool things on this page. We can rewatch old episodes. So if you've missed any of the episodes, as well as being able to see it on Facebook. Sorry, I need to click this one here. Top left, the computer game coding course. If you missed our projects and you're trying to find them, as well as being on Facebook and YouTube, they are also all on our website in order. So you're looking for a quick and easy way to find all of the activities. Here we are on this web page here. You can find week 1. I'm not going to start playing them because you don't need 2 of me on the screen at the same time. We've got week 2. You can also play mine and Nikki's game from last week as well if you want to. And we've got week 3 here. So this is the stream from today. But if we scroll down a little bit, this is where you can buy tickets to the expansion pack. So we'll go on to that in a second. But if you want to submit your game, what you need to do is go to submit your game for a chance to win. You can click submit game there, and that will open up a new form which will allow you to submit your game. So here we get the maker's name, maker's age, postcode. It is only, I need to make sure, I'm glad I remember that. It is only open to UK, so England and Northern Ireland, and Wales, Scotland as well. Email address, if it's a young person making the game, so if they are under 18, please put a parent or guardian, someone responsible over the age of 18's email address there, because that's who we'll contact to let you know you've won, and your game URL here. So I didn't show you that either. I must have been something a bit crazy then. So once you finish your game, what you want to do is make sure you share it. So we click on the share button in the top left-hand corner. Now that I know that I've had a ninja in my game, I'm going to rename it to Ninja. Oh, Ninja Maze. I can take a quick picture or a video. I'm just going to take a picture for this one. And then when I publish my project, this is where I get my code, my unique code for my game. That means I can get it played and it can go here, there, or anywhere what I want to do is make sure I submit this bit, copy it, and on this form, paste this bit in here. So that's how you submit your game. Just to go back though, while I was there, anyone that's interested in learning more about our games, if you are interested in coming out in our expansion pack session, which takes place on Mondays at 10 a.m., all you need to do is click on here to purchase a ticket. These are limited to maximum of 15 people, and it allows you to ask us any questions face-to-face via Zoom, and it's all on our Facebook page, but it's also on Eventbrite. So if you're not on Facebook, you can purchase tickets for this for Eventbrite. You just come on here, select the date. So for this week's one, it will be Monday's date off the top of your head, Ian. Can you guess it?
Monday's date?
No, neither can I. But it'll load in a second and tell me what it is. The 8th. So you select the date that you want and go through it like that. So I'm sure you all know how to use Eventbrite anyway. Things like that. Right. Anyway, let's have a quick look. See if so I'm just going to have a quick look at my email. See if we got Nikki's one. Oh yes, Nikki's Maze is here. So I'm just going to download it really quickly and then upload it to my code so we can have a quick play of Nikki's as well before we get out of there. So
just a real quick apology. Somebody said we've struggled with Nikki for some reason. She's been dropping in and out.
Oh, okay.
She's frozen, couldn't hear. So just to pick up that other side of the conversation, Nikki sent over a game. So are you ready there, Sean?
Sorry, I'm just going to show people how to do this. So one of the things that people said was when they download the game, they actually just get an image, like a PNG of the game. But actually, that PNG, if I go to import here and click import file, if I choose the PNG that was coming through then, which is this one here, and I drag that to here, it's actually got the game saved in that PNG. So just turn off my notifications. There we go. So this is Nikki's game. I hope everyone could hear Nikki at the beginning when she was talking about the summer reading challenge and how cool that's going to be, and that you should definitely go and check that out because there's lots of free, cool, interesting things, I'm sure, although you still might not be able to go inside your libraries. Oh, wow, look at this. Oh, it's like a Mr. Man character. Oh, I get it now. I get it. I was trying to go on the bricks. Oh, I love the library sales, Nikki. These are fantastic. I'm never going to make it, though. So what we'll do as well is we'll publish Nikki's code on there. So we'll let you have a go at doing my code. We'll let you have a go at doing Nikki's code, see if you can complete our games. And we'll also post on Thomas's code from last week so you can have a look at the cool space game that he made, Go Go Galaxy. Hope everyone has enjoyed this stream. We've loved doing it, and I really look forward to seeing what you all submit. Right. Have I missed anything this time, Ian, or have I managed to get everything?
I think that's just about it. Just the usual end plug, guys. You watching this on one of our channels, make sure that you've got us across all the channels that you're on. So the usual drill. We're on YouTube. We've now got over 100 subscribers. So woohoo! We've got this snazzy new URL there, which is /MakoCreate UK. Make sure you like and subscribe over there. If you're on Facebook, we are MakoCreate, or you go /MakoCreate UK, you'll find our page. And then the same drill on Twitter, MakoCreate UK, and Instagram as well. And we do try and vary it up, so make sure you follow us everywhere that you can, and you'll be sure to see something new across all the different channels as well. But I think that genuinely is absolutely everything now, Sean.
Yes.
Yeah,
I think so. Oh, I guess one last thing is, if you do have a couple of seconds spare, something that you can do that will help us support us running these sessions in the future and making sure that we're allowed to run more free activities and things like that. Something that we really do appreciate is anyone that leaves us a review on our Facebook page. So if you go to our Facebook page and click on reviews, I think called, or recommendations, I'm not sure if they've rebranded it, review or recommendations, and just tell people that you've had a good time during this session. It really helps us let other people know that you're enjoying what we're doing and you think it's worthwhile. And so if anyone's got 5 seconds spare and would mind just jumping on there and giving us a quick review to say that they've enjoyed being part of these sessions, that'd be a massive help for us. And yeah, so finally, I'm going to let you all go now. So thank you very much all for tuning in. I can't wait to see your games. Thank you for Nikki. Thank you to Ian. It's been a pleasure working with you both again. And hopefully everyone's had a good time and has made some awesome mazes. See you all next week for our story-based one. So we're going to be looking on stories next week. Cool. Can't wait to see you all then. Take care. See you later.